What is up? It is your host with the most, Tristan Kalina, and I am bringing you the ultimate guide to the pressure washing business 2025 version, and I hope you guys are ready to get pounced with an immense amount of value. Let's rock and roll. So who am I specifically? My name is Tristan Kalina. I run a pressure washing business, of course, but I have been able to acquire $1.2 million plus of real estate, 15 doors of real estate. We got 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've got 3+ years of experience in the pressure washing field. I don't sell a course. I'd say I'm a pretty chill guy. And I've built all of this through my pressure washing business. So I hope you guys enjoy this. But before we start, just to build a little bit of rapport with you guys, but before we start, one promise out of what you're going to be able to get through this video is that you're going to get more value than most people's paid courses, if all of them, for absolutely free. For absolutely free. What you're going to be getting is how to get customers, equipment, washing techniques, pricing, so much more, all under 30 minutes so that you guys can basically formulate something and be able to make money. If you don't have 30 minutes to lock in, then you might as well not do this. Really. Like 30 minutes. You're able to spend an hour at some random math class in high school, but you don't have 30 minutes to lock in for this, and it's probably going to be less than that. But dude, if you don't have 30 minutes to lock in, then just screw whatever endeavor that you decide to do. Either way, must-haves before we start this entire thing is that you have to have a insatiable amount of drive to be able to take action. I would rather shoot rather than have a direction and never shoot. You got to be able to take an unreasonable amount of action initially and then go with your direction. You got to give no fucks. You can't give a fuck. You got to be able to numb yourself to the word no. If you are emotional towards the word no, or if you're emotional towards rejection, then it might not be the best business plan for you. You got to have a plan and you got to stay the path, because the golden rule of business is to be able to stay through the path and stay through the vision so that you can succeed in the long run, because it does take a little bit. So I'm just going to give you a pre-qualification. If that doesn't sound cool with you, exit the video. But if that sounds cool with you, let's stay and let's rock and roll to get some money. Let's get to it. How to get jobs. Now, I'm going to go over basically the top 10 lead sources of what I've been able to get, while you can basically emulate this into your own for free. So, number 1, Google. Get reviews, constant posts, photos, right? You just got to be consistent throughout this entire process. You could set up a GMP, you could set up a Google My Business, then compile amount of reviews to be able to get customers, because whenever they're searching pressure washing near me, they're going on Google so that they can search up yours, then they call, answer the phone. All right. 2, Facebook. So you got to post consistently. You got to mirage this into an assortment of charismatic approach, educational marketing. You could do collaborations with other vendors. You can go Facebook Live, which is basically, you put yourself on a Facebook Live and just be able to broadcast what is going on within your business. Go on Facebook groups, broadcast what you guys are doing, and be relentless with all of this stuff. Nextdoor was the way that I got my first 20 jobs just off this platform alone. 20 gutter cleans, 20 pressure washing jobs through Nextdoor. I was able to get somebody to leave me a phenomenal review, and I had 20 plus people reach out for jobs just by doing this. It is a very niche specific. However, it has a lot of power to be able to give you the jobs that you want so that you can get the money that you want. Print marketing. Now, this comes down to the amount of input, meaning the amount of volume that you allow yourself to put into, because it's not going to be 300 door hangers that you put out that actually gets you the jobs. It is going to be 5,000. It is going to be 5,000. And it is not about the amount of eyes that you get, but it's about hitting the same eyes over and over and over and over again. You got to put an offer out so good that they cannot say no to, and you got to put out a ton and answer the fucking phone when they do call. Signs, business cards, brochures, pamphlets, business coupons, all of this stuff is great as well. 6 is LinkedIn. And this was actually my 3rd lead source from the previous year. That was a top 3 lead source for me. You got to slide in those DMs like you're sliding in those baddies, and maybe they reject you. They probably do. But either way, you still shoot. You're still shooting like Steph Curry. You got to slide in those DMs. You got to make sure that you're maxing out your connections, comment, and be able to basically broadcast in a very organic facet that you are be able to do these pressure washing jobs at a hierarchy of the echelon level. Cold outreach. Cold outreach is actually hyper effective, but it does come down to the amount of input that you're putting into it, meaning the volume, so that you can get the output, the money. Initially, you could start off with friends, family, followers, websites. What I did, I remember getting my first dumpster pad lead where I literally scraped emails from steakhouses and extracted the manager's emails from these websites, then basically delivered a personal email to them to be able to clean their dumpster pad. But you just got to outreach. Door knocking. Now, a lot of people ask me about door knocking. It's a numbers game, and you got to quit bitching about the word no. It goes down to the point where if you are emotional towards the word no, then it's going to be very hard for you to succeed in any endeavor in any of your life. So just don't take it personal, then go on to the next one. Networking. Networking, it is going to be my number one. I'm calling it this year for my main lead source. Networking meetings, BNI, Chamber of Commerce, local business meetups, but you have to use your charismatic approach. If you cannot talk to people, then you need to learn how to talk to people. You need to put on your extrovert notion, because I am a natural introvert. Like, doing this right now is pretty decently uncomfortable for me. However, I've been able to do it enough times so that I can talk decently well into the microphone, but you have to be able to leverage your charismatic approach, be extroverted in the sense, and make friends. If you could do that on a very simple and consistent basis, you will get enormous jobs. Paid ads. I see a lot of gurus that are like, man, I can run your paid ads. I can do this. Fuck that. I don't care if you can, because I know that I can. And I'm not spending my money on you. I'm going to spend it on myself, and I'm going to be able to get you the results so that you can emulate this into your own thing. So basically the strategy behind paid ads is that you have to get very specific. So say, for example, you live in Virginia residents, comma. Then you create a compelling offer that they can't say no to. And I'm going to leave that to you guys so that you guys can get absolutely creative within all of that. Then at the end of that offer, you have a call to action that leads to the landing page so that they can fill out a form to be able to call or contact. Another one that you can use is Google Local Service Ads, which I absolutely love, is that it's not a pay per click, but it is a pay per call. And if those calls are actually legible or eligible for a qualified lead. Bonus hacks is the door hangers. Like I said, hit the same neighborhoods, not hit a variety of different neighborhoods, but hit the same neighborhoods over and over and over again. The 3-way touch method, I absolutely love this. Say, for example, I am at a job site. I'm going to go over to the 5 surrounding neighbors, and I'm going to say, hey, we're going to be making a little bit of noise. Just don't mind us. We're pressure washing your neighbor's house. Oh, that's cool. Whatever. I go back to it, do the job, leave yard signs out front. Then I go back to the same houses and I say, thank you so much for your hospitality. If you don't mind, I could definitely give you guys an estimate. More times than not, a lot of people will actually say yes to that because you expressed amount of hospitality and did not sell anything initially, but you just gave them a heads up, which is valuable in their eyes. Commercial walk in and ask just takes a lot of boots on the ground, where you just need to go in and ask for the decision maker's email so that you can contact them. Other contractors, don't be afraid to ask other washers around your area because they get busy. Landscapers, window washers, etc. for other work. And by the way, when you are asking for this work, be able to reciprocate that value and be able to give them work as well. But you got to be consistent every day. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that. Let's go into the equipment that you need, especially when you're starting off. And you do not need the sexiest equipment. Don't let people sell you on that you need this crazy trailer, because I've seen people get into debt where they can't buy it because this interest just keeps compiling over and over and over because they bought this trailer and they don't know how to get jobs. Get the jobs first, then get the equipment. So whenever you're getting it, just depending on your capital, get a 2.5 gallon per minute or a 4 gallon per minute. Surface cleaner. This cleans concrete. And I'll go over this in a quick second whenever we're dissecting a clean as well. Pressure hose. There's pressure hose and there's garden hose. Garden hose fills up your water. Pressure hose is how you spray it. All right. Downstream injector. This allows you to suck chemical, and I'll go over the chemicals in a quick second. But this allows you to be able to draw chemical from your washer to the hose and be able to spray it on selected surfaces. You have pressure washing gun. This is pretty self-explanatory. And the quick connect. So basically on the left side, there's a female, and on the right side, there's a male. The male goes inside the female. That's the best way I can describe it. But these connect everything, the little connections that you have through your wash gun, through your wash hose. These are must-haves. J-rod, goes at the end of your wash gun so you can spray effectively in every single area. Total cost estimation of this is going to be about $3,000 to $5,000. If you're great with that, then do it. And if you're not, okay, just save up a little bit more capital. Let's analyze a quick cleaning real quick. As we go into the cleaning diagnosis, I'm going to treat this like I'm on a Fox broadcast for the Super Bowl. Welcome to the Super Bowl of pressure washing. It is your host with the most, Tristan Kalina, and I am showing you exactly what we do for driveway cleaning. And if you haven't seen one of these before, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And so stupid. But either way, this is exactly what we're doing. And I would basically kind of put this from a good analogy standpoint that it is like lawn mowing with grass. You're kind of going up and down, side to side. But this just pays a little bit better. A lot better, actually. My first business was lawn mowing, but that's a different subject. What I could have done better a little bit was hose management. You see me just kind of slinging these hoses around, the gray hose. You always want to try and keep it behind you. But you connect that pressure hose to the surface cleaner. Pretty simple and subtle, guys. I always try to make this as beautiful and clean as a process, because what I love about the surface cleaner, if you're wanding the entire part of it, it is A, really tough to do that, but B, it comes out terrible. After you're done surface cleaning, what you're seeing right here is a ball valve rinse. A ball valve rinse that basically you're rinsing off all that excess debris that may have been sitting from the surface cleaner, the grime that got built up from the concrete. And then after, you are applying a mixture of sodium hypochlorite, the main chemical that you need to use at every single job. This is what it looks like. It's a post-soak. And it makes it so even. It makes it so bright. It makes it look really good after every thing. So you got to make sure that you do the post-soak. But let's go into a house wash real quick. Okay, so let's go to diagnosis number 2, which is the house wash. And what you're seeing right here is basically the soft washing method. The soft washing method, which is applying bleach onto the house, allowing it to dwell, and then rinsing. Especially when you see metal, make sure that you're rinsing it. When you see brick, make sure that you allow that SH to dwell. But the biggest thing is rinsing the windows so they don't get etched, and rinsing all metal so that that does not discolor, because it can flash oxidize, meaning that it can discolor. We do like to tarp TVs. This is a good before after, and just kind of the justification of the soft washing method right here. When you're applying SH, it can make things so beautiful. And this is why I think that the surface is really worth it. But essentially, you're just going to come back and just apply a slight pressure towards all of that green or that black mold. That's how you do it, guys. That's literally how you do it. Apply SH, sodium hypochlorite, let it dwell, rinse it off. Try to keep this as simple as a process as possible. But you see our guy DJ doing his thing. Heard me? I'll let you guys finish this so you guys get the bang for your buck, because it is pretty satisfying to watch. Not going to lie. And my guy is buff as hell. He is 220, one of the fastest dudes that I've ever met in my life. He is a freak athlete, dog. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, that's how you do it. So the chemicals, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, by the way, the chemicals that you need, and I definitely touched up on it while we were doing that clean, but sodium hypochlorite is the main chemical that you need. You're going to be using this on basically 100% of the jobs, 99% of the jobs. It is the main chemical. It is a fancy word for bleach or chlorinating liquid or pool shock, whatever it is. But it kills organic, it kills algae, it kills mold. It's a must-have. You have to have it at all times. F9 bark removes rust. F9 effluent removes effluent. Degreaser for oil stains, restaurant, thick grime, and sodium hydroxide for grease. That's just kind of a brief understanding. Those are the chemicals that you traditionally need for any job, and those chemicals will get the job done. But understanding the business. Okay, I'm just going to go over exactly how I price real quick. I'm going to make this super simple, but I'm on Google Earth right now. Google Earth is going to be your best friend for this. And let's just find a house. This looks pretty damn dirty, so let's just do this, okay? And you can always look up the square footage. I'm going off of square footage or I'm going off of time. So at time, you're shooting between $300 to $400 per hour. And look, before I go into pricing, I need you to realize this, is that there are guys that are making a lot of money because they're not undercutting and they believe by their prices. You have to believe in the service, you have to believe in your prices, and you'll actually get them. But the thing is, dude, like there are so many guys that undercut and then they leave the business because they aren't profitable. They don't make enough money. You can't run a business without like making sure that you're charging appropriate prices. And I'm not saying to gauge or the customer. I'm not saying that. But I'm also not saying to gauge yourself, because you're gauging yourself. You're literally putting your family, your kids, your children, your future on the line right here, because you won't have the confidence to charge appropriate prices. Like, just to build you a little bit of rapport, like I had said beforehand, I own 15 units of real estate strictly through my wash business because I charge appropriate pricing. Like, does that not piss you off? Like, you want to just undercut guys and barely squeak by. You could be mediocre if you want to. I just refuse to even think about that. I want to be absolutely exceptional so that you can live an exceptional life. That is the basis of it. I cannot emphasize that much more. So many guys will try to undercut and then they leave the business. I've seen it just flourish and recycle over and over and over again. So damn, man, understand that. You guys are putting me on one today, I'll tell you that. But I like to take the square footage either off of Zillow or off of Google Earth. So for example, this looks like a pretty dirty house. This is assuming that this is a brick house. This is my price sheet. You could definitely screenshot it if you want to. Don't care. Take it. Run with it. Really do what you need to do. So let's just use this for example. So for 2,600 square feet. All right. So you could see this. This is the area. Let's just round up to 2,600 square feet times 0.3. You're going to be about $780. Okay. 2,600 times 0.5. That's going to be for the house wash. This is for the roof wash. It's going to be about $1,300. You're going on a roof, bro. Like literally, you're putting yourself liable for serious risk. Some people don't understand that. And even if you're going on a ladder, you're still putting yourself up for risk. Bro, you need to understand that, G. Holy shit. Holy shit. You guys are firing me up. Driveway cleaning between 25 to 35 cents. Okay. So whatever it is. But you see, I'm just using the measuring tool right here. And I am basically just going across the perimeter to outline what it is. And it'll pop up the square footage. So let's just say 670 square feet. That's not many. So I'm definitely going to be higher. And it's probably going to be about 250. So you can add those all up, bundle it up. If you want to take 10% off, do it, whatever. But at the same time, I really try to not give as much discounts just because I really do believe in the service. And when you don't need it, per se, normally you get it as well. But this is how you do it. You take this square footage, you times it by this, or once you get really good at it and you recognize this is going to take me about 3 hours, whatever it is, okay, times 400, $1,200, whatever it is. But that's what I've kind of came to an adjacent like territory with all of this. But just make sure to charge appropriately. That's what I can emphasize. Let's keep on going. And these are kind of some cons and these are some pros, but I'll teach you how to kind of mitigate some of these cons so that you can flourish and make the money throughout the entire year. So the business overview, it is seasonal, especially when you're starting off. I remember getting so emotional in these slower months. I was like, man, what should I do? I'm looking up these YouTube videos. They're not kind of giving me a very specific plan. I got to figure this out. And I'll show you exactly what I did. But this is basically how it works. In January, February, it's very slow. March, it starts to pick up. April, May, June is hyper busy. July, August, it really slows down. September, it starts to pick up. And at least in my area, October, November, December are hyper busy. But in the north, you have about 9 months. In the south, you can wash all year long. But in those 9 months, you can make way more money than at a 9-to-5. But you have to maximize the hot months. And what do you do during the cold months? So this is basically my game plan. March, April, May, June, I'm focusing on residential, high-end luxury residential. July, August, I'm going commercial. So within these February and March, it is vital that you're already planning for July and August with commercial work. You gotta plan for this because it gets super slow. I know that you can't see it right now, but it does. And I've been able to see it over the past 3+ years. Within September, October, November, I'm focusing on residential. It definitely does start to pick up, and you'll start to mix in some commercial, especially with tax breaks and tax write-offs that they start to utilize towards the end of the year. That is how you mitigate these slower months so that they can be able to neutralize. So you have residential, commercial, residential, and hopefully in January and February, you can do some commercial work as well. Services that I do, and this is just what I do, and some of the best pieces of advice that I got from a mentor is that you have to just niche down on a few services rather than being an expert at all fields, because it's going to be impossible to become the expert. You need to be the premier expert at just a few services so that you can charge higher prices, meaning that you can absolutely win as a byproduct. But lastly, just enjoy it, man. Truly enjoy the journey. I think this is what it comes down to. Like, even in those days where it does get isolated, it does get lonely, in any business it does, just know that you definitely have a community here at least, or you could just keep pouncing and just have an insatiable amount of drive to just improve every single day. Because if you just do that, I guarantee you that you'll win, and it will be a lot better for you in the long run, because business does compound effectively. Business compounds much more than a 9-to-5, because a 9-to-5 will basically increase their salary at a 5% rate, maybe per year, where a business could increase at a 500% increase. It's just a matter of time before it absolutely clicks off. And you could explode your first year. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's reasonable, but it could. But after year 3, year 4, year 5, and it's compounding effectively, you're just going to be in a better spot. But look, I'm posting every Tuesday and Friday. Like I said, you have a community here. You could totally subscribe. I don't sell anything. I'm here for you guys, and I want to make sure you guys succeed so that you guys can absolutely flourish within your life. Because I believe that I don't want to go to the grave with an ounce of knowledge left. I think this is kind of my gift towards this life, to be able to give and express some sort of knowledge that I have been able to compile throughout the years, and be able to see other people succeed. That is, it does give me a lot of fulfillment within all that. So definitely subscribe if you like this, and if not, then you don't have to come back. But I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Definitely go and take a look at the next video. It'll help you guys out, and I will definitely see you guys here shortly. Peace.